you say, like, you were to say, all right, what's the biggest fear? Then my answer would be being out in the middle of the ocean with absolutely no hope of like rescue or anything like that. It's just like just me trying to fucking tread water, and then it's just like, and it's just totally inevitable that I'm just gonna have to drown and die.
Being out of control, being late, and like getting on a plane specifically over large bodies of water.
I am terrified of needles. They freak me out.
So I think spiders are one of them. Jellyfish, which I don't like.
My uncle lives in Tampa, and he has a pool. And then one time when I was very young, just running around and stuff like that, and I just totally like fall right into the middle of the water. And then like I'm a baby, I can't swim. My mom was going to jump after me and then basically rescue me.
So the last time I had a shot, I was like 4, and I like hid from the doctor behind a houseplant in the doctor's office, and so I freaked out about it up until getting one. And then after that, like they injected me with the whatever, and I fainted, and I have fainted every single time since.
I've never been stung by jellyfish. I think I just find them creepy because of the long tentacles and the stingingness of them, I guess that'd be the right word. It's really irrational. Like, I don't know, whenever I'm reading about jellyfish, I have to have the book on my lap. I can't be reading at a desk. It has to be on my lap. Because I don't know, if I don't, I feel like there's going to be something underneath the desk, and it's just going to like plop to my lap and be like, ah!
I fly over like South Dakota, Montana, if we're really out of the way and trying to avoid a storm, sometimes Kansas or Oklahoma. And like I have family there. So I'll be like, oh, I'm flying over with my family, or I'll like try to guess what city I'm flying over. Like if you're flying over the Great Lakes, I'm like, is that Milwaukee? Is that Chicago? Try to take a bearing of where I am, and then be like, okay, so like physics problems, this is what I really do. I do physics problems in my head. I'm like, okay, so if we're going about this speed and we're at this height, what? How far do I have left?
I do have a fear of the dark. Or I suppose of the unknown would probably be a better label, because I don't know, someone just hears, oh, you have a fear of the dark. What are you, 5? It's like, no, I'm fine in the dark. It's just when I can't see, that's when I get a little scared, because you never know what's going to happen.
You could do a lot of damage with the knife, and you could do a lot of damage with a gun. It wouldn't be too difficult to kill somebody without those things. Now, I've never shot a gun or even handled one before, and if I would go to a gun range and like I had a perfect professional be like, all right, here it is. It's not loaded at all. It's perfect. It's like safety's on and everything like that. I'd still be very nervous about like handling that sort of thing. But I can pick up a knife, no problem. And maybe it's stuff like that. It's just for experience, because I know any guy that works in or has been in the military will have no problem picking up a gun that they're familiar with and working with it, handling it, shooting it, whatever.
I do fear love. I do fear strong emotional commitments that are considered to be romantic love. Like, I think that friendships I can handle. But like, as soon as that person's like, hey, you want to date me? No. It's just like, there's the concept of like, you are my everything, and I'm like, I'm not sure I want my everything to be one person.
I could, be talking like with my brother, and he'll say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like walk home from campus. He lives right off campus, and he could say, I'm just walking home from campus. It's snowing a bit, so like I said, I have to take care of that, and I'll just have like this insane fear that he's gonna get hit by a car, or he's gonna like slip and hit his head from like snow or ice, and that's just a constant.
You ever have those sort of moments where it's like you're doing whatever, and you just think to yourself like, if I lose my grip holding this big pan or something, or if I'm doing this totally normal thing, I just do something like I'm driving down the road, and I just, for whatever reason, I just turn right into the right, and then just like total my car for no reason. Like I could really fuck myself up, like just very, very easily, if I'm not like totally like in control of my body and stuff like that, and just like, handling things like that.
If I say in like an usual just positive attitude, and I try not to think about it, it's okay. The worst days are when you just feel like you need to do something in order to have it happen because you don't want to feel helpless. And you know it's irrational, completely irrational. But just like moving a pillow or fixing something or checking on something or doing something else, it's you look at it and you're like, is it worth it to lose my family because they all die in some weird way, or is it worth it to just fix the pillow? And it makes it so much worse. But if you fix that pillow, it's only going to make it worse. Like, it only spirals.
I don't know. I think that like my own imagination can make up for a lot, and it can, in a negative way, it can make up for like a lot of fears and that sort of situation. Of just like I can just kind of think of whatever I want right now, or if I'm in a situation that's like slightly tense and or I'm trying to go to sleep and I hear something outside. I'm just like, oh god, what the hell was that? And it probably was just like one of my roommates doing whatever, maybe someone running around outside. But then like I can come up with all sorts of things of just like what it might be. Maybe I'll just sleep over it. Maybe I won't. But it just like if I can get really like fixated on that and like have that fear like start to take over a little bit.
It really started when I was like younger, when I felt that like there were a lot of things going on and I had no way to deal with them. Or actually I'll pin it down. When I was a senior in high school, I made a plan and I had a schedule, and it was literally every hour, every minute of my day was planned out for like homework, driving to school. I had my boyfriend on a timer when he called me. Your time starts now. I have to do homework. So unless you can help me out with that. Oh, wait.
I tend to run. Well, not run, but I try to remove myself from a situation where I'm just like, I don't like this. I need to get out of here. This isn't good. So I'll tend to do that. Like I'll try to avoid the situation, which, like, looking back on things, I have a long history of doing, where I'm just like, I will never deal with this again. Goodbye. Just kind of jump out the window.
Yeah, so my grandfather died, and I didn't know what to do, so I just said, no, I ain't gonna think about that. Turns out when you do that, it doesn't go away. I don't feel like I need outside treatment. I've figured out the origin of all of it by myself, and I know how to deal with it now. So when it comes to like fear of losing someone, or just natural anxiety or unnatural anxiety, whichever it may be, I've learned different ways to sort of like turn it off or shut it down, which is part of the reason why I'm an overly positive person. Because if I think positively, if I think the glass is half full, then the glass is never going to be half empty.
Yeah, I think facing your fears is good, because otherwise, if you don't face your fears, it's always going to come back to bite you. Usually everyone's fear isn't something that you can avoid. It's something that will come up eventually. Like if you have this fear of spiders, you're going to see a spider at some point. At one point or another in your life, you will see another spider. You can't avoid that. Well, I don't know about a fear of polar bears. I mean, we're slowly going towards the brink of global destruction, so yeah, maybe you might not have to deal with that fear anymore. But yeah, I think it is good for someone to face their fears, and so that they're able to move on in life.